to me, Elon has made being cringe and being a Nazi publicly representable and publicly accepted. I think there's a very limited shelf life on that. I've seen things a lot cooler than that
pendulum's
die
gonna
off.
swing back so
Yeah, I think that like 5 years from now, it'll be super embarrassing to be an Elon Musk fanboy. Yeah, I do. I do. Because I just don't see this going on. I just don't. Especially when he does shit like this. I had to pull this shit up here, but this is
this.
Okay, this is an interview that Elon Musk had on Fox News. And Brett Baer asked him some kind of question like, what keeps you up at night? And I love how long he takes to answer this question. And his answer is not going to shock.
What's the biggest thing for you that keeps you up at night?
Bro, he's such a dweeb.
Well, there's a lot of things I suppose that I worry about, but and some of these things will seem esoteric to people. The birth rate is very low in almost every country, and it's something, unless that changes, civilization will disappear. America had the lowest birth rate, I believe, ever. That was last year. Places like Korea, the birth rate is 1/3 replacement rate. So that means in 3 generations, Korea will be 3 or 4% of its current size. And nothing seems to be turning that around. Humanity is dying.
Oh my God.
All right, there was like a 12-second pause between him asking that question and Elon. He rattled his brain, and the best answer he could come up with, not enough babies out there. That's fucking weird. That is a weird thing, and he's obsessed with it. And
he's been obsessed with it for years.
For a long time, yeah. And now no one's going to stop him from talking about it. And it's awful strange. He's like, well, places like America, South Korea, there are places with birth rates that are stable or rising, but he doesn't mean those places, folks. Those are the ones that's a bad thing, that those places are having more babies. And someone please tell me, these folks, why do these folks have the same idea with like humanity as they seem to do with capitalism? Like, one of the main critiques of capitalism is that it's a flawed system inherently because it's built upon the concept of infinite growth, that you can always grow. This quarter has to be better than last. Next quarter better be higher than this one. And they think the same thing about people. It's like, we've never had 8.5 billion people on the planet before. If we have fewer than 8.5 billion, we'll be fine. We managed to do well without it. But Elon Musk seems to think, wow, the numbers are going down. Society can't survive. Yet will. We'll do just fine. That's creepy and weird. And that's only one thing. So I don't know. I think Elon keeps talking shit like this and the weird Nazi memes and the concerning stuff. I just can't see him being cool in a couple of years, a couple election cycles. What do you think, John?
So there is well, first of all, I want to say it would have been, if he was funny, like if he was actually a funny person, and he was proposed the question, what keeps you up at night? He would have gone, ketamine.
Yeah,
just answer the question very literally.
That'd be great.
That would have been very funny. Of course, he isn't actually funny, so he didn't do that. But two, a lot of these conservative, especially alt-right narratives, are based on a kernel of truth. And I'm going to give Elon a little bit of credit here.
Okay,
he's definitely right about South Korea. South Korea is fucked. South Korea is very, very fucked. You're right, TJ. On a global level, if we go from 8 billion people to 7 billion people over the course of a couple generations, it's not a fucking problem. But when you look at like South Korea, he's right. That's a place that is very, and we talked about this on the show before. How they're trying to have like
weird solutions,
very weird solutions, like putting younger girls
in school,
like in higher grades, so that they get laid earlier, and like it is true. Here's the difference. Here's the thing. What a lot of these people like Trump is doing right now with like the tariffs and everything, he's copying like Milei down in Argentina, where it's like, we got to tear down the economy before we can put it back up again. And it's like in Argentina, that does at least make some sort of sense, where the economy is actually in desperate need of restructuring and you need some short-term pain in order to get it going again. That is not the case in America because we have the world's strongest economy. So why the fuck would we tear it down? That doesn't make any sense. Same thing with our declining birth rates. Yeah, we have declining birth rates of people who are living here. But you know what South Korea would fucking chop their dick off for in order to get our fucking immigration? Like, immigration would solve South Korea's problem. 1,000%. Unfortunately, they aren't structured that way. Their culture is entirely culturally homogenous. They all speak Korean, which is a language not spoken outside of Korea very often. Here, we have all the benefits. We have millions of people who want to come here. We could accept people of all different languages and be able to have them
and
live
there are
here and
communities
have a
for them,
successful
and
life.
like there's a community for every type of person in the U.S.
Exactly. Declining birth rates will never hurt the U.S. unless what you mean by declining birth rates isn't an actual demographic shift problem. It's a racial shift problem. And that's where Elon Musk gets it. He's like, oh, guys, look, declining birth rates, that is a problem, right? We all agree.
Yeah.
So, like, we got to make sure we force the women to have babies. It's like, no, fuck no. We just need to make sure we have enough workers. And luckily, they all want to come here. What's your, that's your problem with that, Elon. And that's where all of these fucking right-wing fucking, not even a conspiracy theory. It's just taking a kernel of truth and stretching it until you get to a final solution. They do it every fucking time.
It's not even like he's hiding it that much, because I and I don't quote me on this, but I swear I've seen him either repost, comment on, or like tweets that allude to the idea that white people are being replaced. Not even allude, but just
no, he's straight up. I'm pretty sure he said that he believes. I know Tucker Carlson said it, and I think he promoted it.
Yes, I'm almost certain that Elon has promoted it. So it's like it's very openly his idea. Like the problem with the low birth rates is that there are less white people, and he's scared that more brown people are going to start existing. And that's something, interestingly enough, that is an ideological position that he's been consistent with even before his great right-wing shift. He's always been a weird like birth rate guy, and more importantly, his relationship with this low birth rate thing has always screamed main character. Like, even how he answered that fucking question got on my nerves, because he did exactly what a character that I'm writing in this sci-fi movie about saving the world would do. Take a really long time, think deeply. We're gonna lose civilization. Like, he's such a dork. He swears he's the main character, and that's something I think that is like the foundation for all of his actions. He genuinely believes that he's the guy here that is meant to change the world, and that's what makes him so fucking scary. That's what makes him so dangerous, because there isn't anything he won't do so long as he believes that.
Oh, look, that's true, Ate. I like Ate plugging his book here. I love this. I love that. This is content. I love that. It's great. We know the game, folks. Colby said something I was going to mention, that a lot of declining birth rate comes from less teen pregnancies. It's why the trad wife married with kids at 18 to 20 is being pushed so hard. Colby, you beat me to it. I was going to mention this, that the number one reason that we have this declining birth rate in the United States is that teenage girls are not having babies anymore. And and it wasn't just people.
By the way, guys, this isn't this is proven by data.
This is real.
If you look at the birth rates for like women between 25 and 40, they've declined by like 10% or something like that. It's the teen birth rates that have
drastically.
Yeah. And so we have spent, conservatives and liberals seem to agree on this idea. Well, 15-year-old girls having babies is bad, right? We can all kind of not quarrel and bicker about this, that this leads to a worse life for the kid, worse life for the mom, possibly worse life for the dad. It's like nothing. There are no winners here when we have kids in 9th grade having children, and we haven't stopped it completely, but we've essentially put a stop to it. And now they're freaking out. Well, and that's why that story in South Korea, I guess we tell you guys what we're talking about. South Korea, their solution, one of their proposed solutions, they haven't done this. One of their proposed solutions to have more kids is essentially to get more teenage girls pregnant. And what they want to do is have girls who are 16 years old. Well, girls go to school 2 years earlier than boys. So that, say you're a girl who's 16, you're going to be in class with a boy who's 18. And they figure that, girls will usually, be with a boy who's a little bit older than them. And that'll encourage them to have sex and get married. And that way we'll solve the problem. You get to some weird shit when you refuse to uncouple yourself from our capitalistic mindset of let's do all we can to help support these families. Like, having a kid shouldn't be a death sentence to the rest of your life ambitions and everything. And I was I hope I found this article here, but I was reading about Elon Musk's dad, Errol Musk. And this article, Elon Musk's father suggests having babies should be more like breeding horses. Elon Musk, yeah. So it comes from like his old man. His old man feels the same way, that, yeah, we need to repopulate the world, getting as many people out there as we can, to the extent that he fucked his own stepdaughter. And Elon Musk has like it. Yeah, Elon Musk's dad, Errol Musk, married this lady and adopted her 2-year-old daughter. And they got divorced years later. But now, 25 years afterward, he's had sex with that 2-year-old girl that he adopted all those years ago, and has 2 kids by her. And there's a super dark, hilarious article about it. John and I covered it on the show, where Errol Musk is talking about it. He says, yeah, I forget Elon's brother's name, but he's like, yeah, Elon and his brother, the boys, they weren't too happy about it. Oh, really? Really? You think that may have bothered them just a little bit, Errol Musk? And it was a weird thing. And John and I were talking, it's like, that's the guy that raised Elon Musk. Elon Musk makes a lot more sense now. Like, if his dad was that fucking psychotic, on top of being, an apartheid, supporter and everything, it makes sense why Elon's as fucked up as he is.
It makes a lot of sense. It makes so much sense. And I'd be hard pressed to find a billionaire, like not even a billionaire, but a right wing figure that doesn't seem to have had a childhood where you examine it and you're like, oh, fair enough. I mean, like, all right, then.
Makes a lot of sense. Like Donald Trump and his relationship with his dad and everything.
I was like, absolutely.
It all fits into place.